Imaginative day plan execution. Shanvi was daydreaming about what he would have bought her for her birthday. They began talking about how well the day went and what chores were completed by the end of the day again overnight. He told her everything that had happened throughout the day before moving on to what gift she was going to give him. Shanvi was upset because she felt she had to give him a gift before he did, and she hadn't received one from him yet. He insisted on receiving Apple AirPods as a birthday present. Shanvi had no choice but to fulfill his wish, believing that one day he would surprise her with what she had always desired. She also suspected he was lying about his birthday. He had received his gift in advance, from his mother and brother, and he had kept that secret from her so that he could receive another gift on his birthday. As previously stated, he was the most cunning individual you will ever meet in your life. Days passed and they only talked on the phone, they had never met in person until now. That's unusual in that they seemed to enjoy each other's company. So one day, he asked her if she was ever planning to meet him seriously. She replied that they can certainly consider meeting someday. They agreed to meet at Orbit Mall. Shanvi was punctual, so she arrived before he did. On the other hand, he was a lazy duke with all luxuries to attend to, so he took it lightly and planned to arrive late at the meet. He tried to convince her that meeting her wasn't all that important. There were more important things in his life to attend to than her. And whenever he was caught in such situations, he would ask if she could read minds. While waiting for him inside the mall, Shanvi was disappointed and upset. She called to see if he was on his way or had arrived. He said he would be there in 10 minutes. She was looking forward to meeting him and getting to know him so they could bond even more. He came up to the basement and dialed her number. When she picked up the phone, her heart skipped a beat because she was about to meet the man of her dreams. Both were well connected on call and shared their locations so they could find each other. The mall was extremely crowded that day, making navigation difficult. When her eyes met his, she was in full bloom. She expected him to be taller than she was, but he appeared to be the same height. That made her feel a little low in comparison to her previous excitement. To her, he appeared inactive, lazy, and arrogant. She approached him, and he approached her. They shook hands and greeted one another by introducing themselves to one another. She had in mind that this was the guy she was overjoyed about. But he had some qualities that impressed her and made her want to learn more about him. Now that they were at ease with one another, they walked up to a coffee shop and spent insignificant time eating a cold shake and a burger. He took a couple of sips of his cold drink and asked her to finish it. For a while, she felt uneasy, and she later realized that he was attempting to make her fall in love with him through this act. Both of them were looking at each other furtively, missing each other's sight and attempting to gauge their personalities and attitudes. He felt awkward asking her out and revealing his true feelings to her. He was so taken with her appearance and attitude that his heart skipped a beat the entire day they were together. He secretly eyed her and wished to see her every day but couldn't tell her. They had goosebumps and butterflies in their stomachs. They both wanted to see a movie together, but they only had so much time that day. They were almost exhausted on the inside, but they were fired up to go out and explore new things with each other. Shanvi and Wasim were madly in love but refused to admit it. Wasim inquired as to what Shanvi should do next and what else she should plan. She predicted that the film would do well, but it's getting late. He nodded, and they both proceeded to the exit gate. He asked her how she was getting home after she had booked a cab. She informed him that she had already reserved a cab. As a result, they both awaited its arrival. "Which cab is about to arrive?" he asked. "It's a sedan," she replied. "Well, which car do you want as a gift?" he asked. "I want a Mercedes and a Bentley," she replied. He said, "Oh, okay, nice choice. If you could do me a favor, I'd buy it." She declined his offer, saying, "No thanks, I'd buy it myself." "I will get you that dream car secondhand for just 10 to 15 lakhs, he said. "Why not get a more expensive one?" She stated, "No way. I do not want a used car. I'd like to own a brand new car." When the cab arrived, they said their goodbyes. He was then captivated by the entire day he spent with her. He returned home and began his pending work. She texted him that she had arrived safely at home. He read it and replied, okay. He, too, couldn't live without her for long. He was getting impatient about how to proceed with her. He secretly desired all of her. It was late at night, and he was seriously concerned about her. He seemed to crave her presence and to be madly in love with her. But he kept his emotions in check for the time being. But then a thought occurred to him, and it was his birthday gift. He was so excited about it that he couldn't stop himself from texting her about what she had planned for him as a gift. She replied, I'm still deciding what to get you, and it's proving difficult. He was upset and said, I need your time, let's go shopping, and you will shop for 10 expensive garments for me. Shanvi agreed to his idea and said yes to the shopping, deciding to use the credit card she had received a few days before. She had no idea how severely it would punish her in the future. But her young mind was prepared for the deal because she was earning well. They met the next day at the Orbit Mall and dashed into a clothing store. He was trying on new clothes, and she was assessing how well they fit his body. She was asking him to try something different than the clothes he usually wore. He liked a few dresses and shortlisted them, explaining that this is not how he normally shops and tries on clothes. He simply buys whatever he wants without trying it first. She disagreed, saying, but please try them in front of me, or else I will regret shopping for you. He agreed and led her to the dressing room, where he asked her to assist him in trying on his shortlisted clothes. This was her first time selecting clothes for a man at the mall and having him try them on. She had previously gifted clothing to a few boyfriends, but only through couriers, never in person. He wanted to drag her into the dressing room and romantically try on clothes, but with his practical limits, just to bond even better. He invited her into the dressing room, but she refused, and he did not press her any further. He was looking great, and she reselected a few pairs that totaled $100, which was her credit limit for spending on him, which she had set well in advance. He was overjoyed with the outfits he received, but he kept it to himself. She was second-guessing herself about whether she had done the right thing by spending $100 on him for his birthday. Since she had spent a few bucks on this guy with her credit card, she considered spending more to buy her mother a new trendy cell phone, as she had been complaining about her old cell phone a few months before. Spending them would also reward her with coins and Amazon gift cards, so why not take advantage of it? She now gave her mother a lovely cell phone, but she concealed the fact that it was purchased with a credit card. Shanvi was not a businessperson to use credit cards, and as a responsible citizen, she should have used her savings to make purchases rather than relying on credit cards and loans. A month after his birthday, he asked her to buy him a bean bag so he could always remember her while resting and relaxing. Shanvi had repaid the loan after receiving her next salary and had decided to stop spending and start saving, because she was planning her wedding well in advance. She turned down his offer, which upset him, and she couldn't stand seeing him upset, so she reconsidered. She told him it was the last time she would spend money on him and that he should have no further desires. He refused to agree and stated that you would have to do so until you stayed friends with him. Shanvi was disappointed because she couldn't believe a guy could say such things to her just because she loved him. As previously stated, she parceled out the beanbag to him and ended up being the last expense. She decided to put money into FDs to help her budget and use it during her wedding period ahead. She shared this news with him and he was happy to know that she was bothered to inform him. She gave him a position in life that he never deserved. He informed Shanvi one fine day that he would be out of town for an extended period of time, most likely for 5 years, and that they would not be able to meet and greet together. This annoyed her, and she was upset that he was now playing with her feelings.